Never more do I feel justified, like, vehemently arguing the topic at hand. Right?
Actually, Jay,
now
good idea. Out of it. That was great.
Yeah.
I like
now
that.
That's some question we were going to ask around.
Right.
I couldn't hold back, man. I had to throw it out.
No, but you didn't.
I couldn't hold back either. I had the whole thing in my head for like hours. Like, this movie sucks.
It was cool at the end of the movie though, where they brought like the camel robots in, so that like brought me back to like
You know what?
movie. And
I like you because you said camel robots, and that's how I described them on my notes. That
That's
you
what they
never
look
even
like.
saw camel robots.
And then
Are
when
you talking about
they,
the AT-ATs?
at the very end, the big like
Yeah, they,
animal-like robots,
Yeah,
huge ones.
yeah,
The camel robot.
The ones with
The
the two
cat-
legs.
they're like
things
the
I've
cat-
ever
they're
heard.
like kills.
So
And then when they hit it in the face, it turned its head like it was
I had
hurt.
that note in my notes. That's why we're awesome.
It turned its head like it was real, like it was alive, like it was like it was alive.
Go ahead.
So one of the questions we basically had, because we both know where we stand with this, sort of, is do you feel the Star Wars franchise has gotten better without George Lucas being involved in it? And why?
Is it better than his original involvement? No. Is it better than since he discovered CGI? Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. Stan?
I think that George Lucas inherently has a honky, like Dory,
Oh,
and he's
I thought he said honky.
I heard it too.
No.
With a great pause, by the way.
Yeah, it's like
Honky, I mean,
Dory. I'm thinking of ways
Right,
to
from the 70s.
look. I
Go ahead.
I really like George Lucas. I love that he brought Star Wars out. Right?
But he's a fucking pussy.
He is a pussy, man, and he's
Cameras on?
openly stated that like it's because of his kids, you know, and he wants to make these movies for his kids, and that's why the prequels sucked ass.
But there's a whole generation of kids who think the prequels are great.
Great,
Yeah.
great for them.
Yeah.
Not for me.
It's
Just
a different generation.
I want to see Star Wars.
There's
It
an
is a
audience.
dark story, especially when you have a Jedi scourge, like where Vader basically goes off and kills just about every damn Jedi that's out there. I want to see that. I want to see Anakin, you know, I want to see the skill set that I saw Anakin have in Revenge of the Sith transfer over to A New Hope.
Yeah.
And I know that didn't happen because the way that Lucas filmed it the first time and the mindset that he didn't go about it.
He didn't know.
Yeah,
Right.
didn't
It was
expect
just
to be
a
really
new.
good.
It was just a new thing. So
It was a one-off. Maybe it might have had legs. I mean, he had more story written or planned, but
right now it's
didn't really
darker
feel
stories. Right now it's grittier. It's darker. You get
more mature.
in depth. It is more mature. You get in depth with the soldier, the stormtrooper, where you never got that with Lucas. It was always kind of a 50,000-foot level, you know, and look at the whole, you know, Reichness of the Empire, right? Like,
Rightness like that. I will say this about in terms of 70s cinema, that part of the reason why Star Wars is as light as it is because 70s cinema was horribly dark.
Krull.
Krull's 80s. I'm talking more
early
like
80s.
what's that Gene Hackman one where he's listening, he's a spy and he's listening to everybody. It's just a weird
Oh, the
thriller.
French Connection?
Yeah, well, the French Connection. There was another one too, but that's my good point. What's the one with Jack Nicholson and is it Mia Farrow or
Oh, Shining?
not The Shining? Oh, The Shining, another good example. No shit. But they're
Cuckoo's
Chinatown.
Nest. Chinatown.
They're these dark, horrible, gritty, like almost filmed in Super 8 kind of movies that were so horrible to watch. I mean, you got strange ones like Clash of the Titans and Rocky and a few other Jaws and a few other ones that are exceptions. But most of the movies in the 70s were just dark as fuck. And before that, most of the movies in the 60s were existential weirdness, like just stuff I can't even follow. Basically, for me, movies pretty much stopped in the 50s and started again in 77 with Star Wars. There isn't too much maybe Logan's Run or Jaws. It's pretty much the only thing I can, the only thing I can really watch in that period. You know, and then after Star Wars, you've got Blade Runner, Dune, you've got all these other movies that are also a little existential, but still kind of progressing more toward that positive. And even those were based on 70s books. You look at Herbert's Dune, you look at Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Those are fucking weird.
What about like Mad Max?
Excellent point. It's an excellent point. They were all kind of that same way. Don't get me started on Fury Road. We'll go for hours on that one. But
The new movie? Oh, I loved it. It was awesome.
God, it was amazing.
It was so good.
But I'm still a huge fan of Thunderdome, though. Thunderdome's like my favorite of all. But anyway, listen to Tina Turner all day. When Star Wars came out, they were looking for something brighter. Granted, you remember going to see it in the drive-in. I was 2 when it came out, so I didn't see it until VHS. And then, of course, seeing it on VHS for a good 15 years until the first DVD came out, and that was the special edition. You know, but I didn't see it on the big screen until the special editions came out, and I remember going to the theater and seeing that thing and how great it was. But going back to that whole thing, it was made for the time that it was in. Mm-hmm. It was made to bring back the type of Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers serial, the kind of fun science fiction movie that even Logan's Run was, in a way. But even it kind of went weird, the whole scene with the orgy and the fucking, whatever. The robot, the weird crystal robot.
Ascend.
Yeah,
but I think Lucas, like when I'm saying like this pussification, let me call it, right? I'm you know I'm just saying like think about when he took out Obi-Wan, when Vader took out Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Really, he's just gonna vanish, like.
That's
every other
really
person gets dropped in half, you know what I mean, or like falls dead or loses their head, but he's just going to be so benevolent that he just evaporates into the force.
So it's going to be like when I retire from the military. Dropping
Right.
uniform
No,
and
it's
running
gonna
off
be more
the
like
base
Yoda.
of
That's
everywhere.
where the covers are gonna go.
That's what I'm talking about with Lucas. Like when Lucas, like he's just always had this like I don't want darkness in my story. Like he's.
Where did you go?
So
Yeah.
for me, what I liked about it, did you want to go?
Go on.
When he nailed it on 4, 5, and 6, and then he just tried on 1, 2, and 3, and it wasn't even that good because it had this. It just wasn't.
There's like 15 years between those.
I get that. You'd think he would have had more time, plenty of time to think about
But
something
look
good.
at Indiana Jones. Like granted, that was
Crystal
him and
Skull.
Spielberg. Again, that's later. I'm talking the first 3.
Okay.
He nailed it again with those. He
Yeah.
really did. And of course, he had Spielberg helping him out too, as well. You can't
Yes.
go wrong with that shit.
But-
Well, you can if it's Crystal Skull.
But that was horrible.
Yeah.
But so the saying about that.
You know,
I
the
think
more,
going
the
to
more I
Disney-
watch Crystal Skull, I can't even say that with a straight face.
Going to Disney
You're just trying to poke shit.
has helped this because you can see that there's fresh people who have had their own ideas on how the direction tied in a bunch of stuff with this Rogue One between the two, which was missed, like you just said.
Well, that's true.
I thought it was great.
Marvel. That's true of Muppets. Everything they've bought.
Was he in charge of all those?
I'm saying Disney.
Yeah,
Right.
When
Disney.
they bought Marvel, it became what it is. When they bought Muppets, the new Muppets movies, which are more Siegel than anything else, but still,
Man, you're getting
they improved. They
mean-mugged over there.
look at Muppets, for example.
Why are you
look
mean
at
mugging?
Treasure Island. You look at Muppets from Space. Those are horrible films, and that's when the Jim Henson Company
All right,
was
hang on.
still in charge.
Muppets from Space was awesome.
Really?
Because that came from the original TV show, Muppets in Space. Do you not remember the space?
No, they were not connected at all. Pigs in Space.
Pigs in Space was awesome.
Pigs in Space is awesome, I agree, but Muppets in Space was
Well-
horrible. If
No.
it had been Pigs in Space, they landed and the Pigs in Space came out, I'd have loved that movie.
I'm just saying. It
But
was
they were a bunch of gonzos.
But what is a gonzo?
You're trying to anger us again, aren't
Okay,
you?
right.
I am.
What's a gonzo? That's the question we're posing to the room.
Stan,
whatever.
Stan, what's a
I have
gonzo?
no idea.
Pig and a frog, whatever.
It's a big fucking nose, is what it is. Maybe he's Jewish.
Oh,
You know? That's actually interesting. Does Gonzo blow himself up on Fridays? I don't know. Since Jay interrupted. So you're right. Disney has improved those properties. I agree. And I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do with Indy.
I have heard they're coming out with something new.
People keep talking about it, but Indy's kind of like Back to the Future. Like, how do you keep going? How do you do that?
Indy was ruined the day River Phoenix died.
They tried to pass the torch in
No,
Crystal
no, no,
Skull, and it was horrible.
No. I'm saying is that Indy could have been a great story.
Okay,
If they would have done like, okay, how did Indy become Indy? And they had a great premise with the TV show.
TV show's actually pretty good.
And it was all right, but they even did that with River Phoenix playing the young Indy in.
It was the second one or third one?
There's a third one.
Yeah.
You know, they had the premise. They had like, all right, River Phoenix could play the young Indy, but once he passed away, there was no chance to even kind of do that.
Capitalized on it even then. They kind of did it as a one-off.
Yes,
But that
and
point,
we've
Harrison's
talked about this
still
like 100
40
times.
Something like he could still get away with doing it again, and
Yeah.
then they waited another 15 years before they did Skull.
And then they fucking hired Shia LaDouche.
Well, Shia
That
LaDouche
was-
at the time was the top. I mean, Transformers. And I'll agree, in the first Transformers, he was great. He was perfect in the first Transformers. Granted, after that, it's when he started his whole crazy decline. But, yeah, he was so bad. What did they call him, Mutt? Like, what the hell was that? I'm trying to be a rebel without a clue? I don't know what the fuck that was about. Yeah. I still like some of the lines in that, though. Some of the great stuff on the motorcycle was pretty funny. Or I got bit by a scorpion. Was it a big scorpion? Yeah, huge. Okay, if it's a small one, be sure to tell somebody. That's some pretty funny stuff. But yeah, it wasn't that great. The whole aliens and the interdimensional shit was kind of weird. I liked it better when they did the religious stuff.
Yeah, the stunts, all that shit, like it was all done. Other than the robots, nothing CGI.
Yeah.
What's that?
Talking Transformers.
Dark Side of the Moon. I don't know if I told you this, but like I literally worked next door to when they filmed that.
Yeah, you did. Actually,
Yeah.
you mentioned that last time.
So like I watched guys jump off fucking Sears Tower, Willis Tower, in squirrel suits three separate times and fly through the fucking city at terminal velocity.
What did you think of the trailer, or the newest trailer?
You know, again, I love Transformers. Like, I'll just watch Transformers. I don't need it to be a good movie.
You know, though, and I'm usually that way too. I felt that way about the first one. In fact, Mick went with me.
Yeah.
It was me, Jay, Mick, and who else? Was it Rich? I don't remember.
Yep, it was Rich.
It was Rich.
And my buddy Andy.
Yeah, that's right. And we went to see it. We were in Seattle. We were somewhere. I don't know.
We were
You were
here.
here. Oh, it was somewhat between trips. But anyway, so we
Yeah,
were
it
watching it. And the first one I liked a lot. The rest of them I don't care for, but the first one I really liked.
That's what we were just
And-
saying. I pretty much agree 100%.
Yeah.
The first one was great. The second one was
Yeah.
where they did the stupid pot and fart jokes. with
Actually,
his
what
mom.
bothered me in the second one most
And-
is them fucking twins, man.
Oh God, they were
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah, it is terrible. Like, why do you gotta have?
But what sold me is that we're watching it. We're sitting in the theater, and it was like five of us in a row. Four of us are vets, you know, in the Air Force. And that opening scene when the helicopter lands, the air traffic controller is yelling at him to come out, or we will shoot you. And as soon as that helicopter starts to transform, I look down the line, and Mick and Rich and you, I'm like, let me get this straight. The first fuckers that are going to die in this movie are security forces, Air Force security forces, and all three of you go, yep.
Yep. Pretty much.
Because that was our job. Like, we were watching, like, oh,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know that again. That's nostalgia too, right? Because that's
Right. No.
that's the first time you've seen a movie, and mind you, what I really appreciate about the CGI of that is that they made sure every fucking functional move was a practical move.
Right.
I mean, that was pretty bananas. Like what they had to do to like make it make sense when they transformed.
And I think they worked on that more in the first movie than the other one.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's probably
For
why
sure.
it sold so much better. Like,
Yeah.
it made so much more sense. And bringing in, of course, Peter Cullen has been the voice all this time, even in the new movies, but I think that the lines they gave him in that first movie were closer to the original cartoon.
I don't know if you remember the battle scene in the first movie when they're fighting in the city at the end, and fucking like they're down there scrapping, and Starscream comes down and like transforms, starts battling, boom, boom, starts getting his ass rocked, and then hops up into the fucking
That's totally Starscream.
raptor and just bails the fuck out of Dodge. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, it just had my head spinning. Like, what just happened? Like,
And it was, the same year that Superman came out? Superman. Now, I like Superman Returns, but they kind of gave Superman a lot of shit for being, over 200 million?
Right.
And then Transformers comes out, it's like 140, and kicks its ass. Like, I think people give too much shit to the Superman movie, but I'll agree that Transformers movie is way better for less money. It was just amazing. How you doing?
Huh? I'm doing great.
You doing great? I just grabbed, those are some new comic books
Yeah,
I
I
grabbed.
saw him up in there.
And I just figured I'd bring them down here just as a topic of conversation. That Back to the Future one's kind of cute. It's Bob Gale, the guy who wrote the original. And it's a bunch of short stories and just odds and ends and random covers and whatnot. It's kind of cute.
Dude, that's thick.
Kevin Smith, that's his Green Arrow run.
When did he do this?
He, back in like, I don't say, early aughts.
Spawn Batman.
That Spawn Batman's from like 93. That's a good one.
Might have that
Frank
in a
Miller
box
and,
somewhere in my house.
Farland, huh?
Yep.
They
That's why I like that one. There's two of them. There's
They
that
did
one.
and a Spidey.
No. There's another Batman Spawn one, but it was written by different authors. Like DC did one and Image did one, and that's the Image one.
Right, but they did it with Spidey too.
Yep,
where,
they
like they teamed up and kind of flopped, and McFarlane wrote Spidey.
You know what kills me at the con the other day? I saw the Spider-Man #1 Todd McFarlane cover, and I had that as a kid. I was so pissed. I was like, it was like $100-something. I was like, oh my god, I had
How
that
is
one.
this?
Huh?
Is this good?
That's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. It's short, but it's very good.
Yeah.
Which one were you saying?
Spider-Man #1 Todd McFarlane.
Oh yeah, no, I've got
Before
that
he
at
did
home.
Spawn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got that
I
at
had
home.
that one as a kid. I wish I still had it.
I've got a couple of those, I think, sitting in a box at home.
Mm-hmm. That's a great cover.
It is.
And I used to have Spawn #1 too.
Yep.
I got
I
Spawn
don't have
through
Spawn, but
probably about 50 or 60.
I guess they're remaking Spawn as a movie.
I hope so.
You know what though? I bought the old one a while back, and it's okay.
The only thing
It's
that
not-
you can't change about the old one is John Leguizamo. He did a fucking.
He was the
perfect
clown.
Violet.
He was fucking awesome. Yeah,
it just
he was
needs to
great.
be R-rated. Like, did you ever watch?
Oh, I have the R-rated one. They did an R-rated version.
Yeah,
They had a PG-13 cut and an R-rated cut. I have the R-rated one.
I never saw the R-rated.
It's not much different. It's kind of like the R-rated.
They dropped
Batman.
like 3 F-bombs that qualifies it to be.
But
Right.
I guess John's a little nastier.
Yeah, no, like I want to see like the HBO. Did you ever watch the
cartoon?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
where
seen it.
Violators jacking off,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, pissing on bums and
Oh,
shit
yeah.
off buildings, dude.
I've
like,
seen that one.
Violators a fucking horrible entity, dude. It's fucking terrible. The whole notion of a Hellspawn, like the fact that it's not R-rated.
I'm looking forward to what's the R-rated? Was it the Justice League Black? They're doing that as an R-rated
It
cartoon.
is. Yeah, well, Justice League. Yeah, it's
Because so far, my favorite
yeah.
cartoon adaptation that DC's done is Dark Knight Returns. Killing Joke's pretty far up there, but they kind of stretched it a little bit. It kind of didn't quite work. But the Dark Knight Returns adaptation is still my favorite Batman film, hands down. Absolutely. Even better than Nolan or the first Burton. I love that one.
So going back to Transformers, has anybody seen the new Transformers trailer?
yeah,
watched
it
today.
It got lots of
Yes.
laughter in the theater.
Yeah!
So
That's what I thought too.
So she asked me, and I posted this when I first saw that. I was like, they needed to bring Megan Fox back because I said 1,000 times Megan Fox was the true hero in all of the Transformers. And if they're gonna do a last one, as Earl walks away in
It's not gonna
disappointment.
be the last one. It's gonna be the last one with Michael Bay. Thank God.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
and then hopefully somebody else will take over and
Revitalize.
spin on it.
He raised a beautiful horse the first one and then beat it to death for the next 5
Yeah.
films.
Correct.
but I actually enjoyed the last one because it was just pure entertainment. Even
He's a Transformer.
right, even with him, it was just pure entertainment. It was just like,
And don't get me wrong, I love
But-
Mark Mark, man.
but-
I'll watch Ted or I'll watch The Big Hit any day.
But even
that
seeing-
movie,
but even seeing that Marky Mark character with Megan Fox and how badass she kind of was, I would like to see that, like those two kind of, like, oh
you know, I'll take
You know
all
what?
the dudes out of it and just bring Megan back. I
yeah,
think that
she
would
was
work.
she was the hero.
Her and Bumblebee, that would work.
I don't know about Bumblebee, but you know whatever. I'll give
From
you.
the first film, I like Bumblebee.
Just saying.
Not gonna watch the first one. It's actually pretty good.
That's good.
It never fails. We cannot get through a single episode without mentioning Transformers. It comes up every single fucking episode. Last time we did this, Jeff announced he had not seen the cartoon. He had not seen the cartoon 1985 Transformers. Yeah, exactly. That was my reaction
That's the
too.
one we went and saw at the Clinton.
Yeah, and I had to play him. No, we were
Theater.
talking about the cartoon, the old one, the 85.
We saw it at the Clinton Theater.
we?
Yes.
Jesus, when was that? 10 years ago.
2004,
Yeah.
something like that.
But anyway, you're right. And so we showed him the trailer. He'd never seen it. So it never fails. We always bring up Transformers when we do this show.
Right.